Well, hello there, and welcome to In the Court of the Wenton King. We're very near today. We're very near? I think we're very near. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Never mind, it's a new view. I think you can see stairs for the first time anyway. Birds of Fire. It's the second one. It's the same lineup. Essentially more of the same. Pretty much more of the same, but more controlled and focused than the first, which is kind of good bad in a way, isn't it? You know, the title track's probably my favourite Mahavishnu song, I think. Although it's, at the same time it is a sequel to the opening track of the first album. It's very, it's very similar kind of thing. But you've got ballads on there, and they're much less in your face. So that they've learned juxtaposition much more. It's not just everything at 100 miles an hour. And there's a wider range of styles, maybe a wider range of textures than before. It doesn't all sound the same in a way that the first album does. A wider range of emotions. But the intense stuff is still just as intense. It's still wild, crazy playing. Like they're on something, and they probably are, I assume. Some of the Mogi stuff, a bit more obnoxious, maybe, possibly, not sure. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a hard week, Kev. But let's plough on. Get through this shit.
We can do this.
I sort of played it to Sarah, and I just sort of thought it was quite interesting to see what her response would be. And she says it sounds like someone having a seizure.
Brilliant. Yeah. Which it does. That's true.
Yeah. And she followed that up by, so you prefer this to ELO? She only knows ELO because we watched Guardians of the Galaxy 2 earlier in the week, and she discovered an ELO song and she bloody loves it.
Spoiler? I haven't seen it yet. Oh my God. That's right.
So yeah, she loves that. She's got the soundtrack on Spotify.
Is it Don't Bring Me Down?
I'm not telling you, Kev.
Okay. If it's Don't Bring Me Down, I'll be disappointed. If it's something else, I'll be very pleased.
And then she says, well, so they all sound the same, equally shite, but it's less kill yourself music to the normal crap you listen to.
Excellent.
Okay, that's good.
That's good.
I actually thought this, when it starts, it's pretty rocky, yeah? And it's interesting that the tracks are, on the whole, shorter. I think the first track's over 5 minutes, and then you got a lot of little things, and then side 2 opens with, what is it, one word?
One word, yeah.
Which again is a nice long one. And then you got
Sanctuary!
Yeah, stuff. Resolution. It's actually, it's a pretty, it sounds more like a cohesive album to me than the previous one.
Definitely.
It's better constructed musically. I'm pretty sure this comes after they've played a lot with each other, whereas the first album, they haven't been together too long. Obviously they've toured relentlessly for a couple of years or however long it is, and this is the result, which sounds a lot tighter and a lot more cohesive.
Definitely, yeah. With the first album, it's like they just pressed record and just went, right, here we go. But they've actually thought about it and made an album, and
What I like is there are, I like Genesis because I like the moments that they do, which I mentioned before. There is a moment in one word where you're listening to a drum solo, which
it's a drum solo.
This is a drum solo, an alright drum solo. And then when it finishes and they all come in, you think, actually, that's really good. That's a really good sort of moment. I think One Word is probably my favourite track, although the top track is very good. Surprising that they're the two long tracks.
Yes.
And the short tracks,
It's like they knew they were the best ones, so they just did them more.
Yeah. Not particularly ambivalent to them. They are good, but they're thingies, aren't they? They're sort of not like, there doesn't seem to be anything broader in those. They seem like a little go at a specific style or something like that, or a specific little change.
That's the thing, they've done it now, haven't they?
I mean, that's where the cohesiveness comes from. I mean, a band like this, you can either be cohesive through some kind of overarching theme, which Pink Floyd did very, very well, when we talk about concept albums, or it can be musically, Yeah. And the difficulty with this type of album, which is where it's the musicians provide the cohesiveness for the album, is getting it to actually sound different, So, because the tendency would be to play the same thing all the way through, but by picking and choosing different styles, it sort of gives it that nice variation, but feels like an album, if you know what I mean, not just a collection of songs. It doesn't feel so improv-y. The first one sounded more improv-y to me. It sounded sort of like, here's a bunch of songs which we'll play, and give it...
And they will song?
Yeah. And it just felt improv-y, which is sort of my main about this. This feels more constructed, sort of like.
Yeah. I'm sure you're right. There's just more bits in each song.
It's good.
Yeah. And I personally remember we listening to an album. This is better than the first one, I think. I get the impression they must have been amazing to see live, which is a different thing. So in a sense, In a Magic Flame probably captures that better, but I'm sure people saw them live and thought, oh my god. There is a live album, remember? I'll probably talk about it in a minute. But this is the album, and that's it, because obviously they split up with it. Something I didn't mention last week, the huge importance to King Crimson, this stuff. Huge influence on Dark Songs in Aspic and the following 2 albums. There's a difference though, this, because you've got the Hendrixisms in here, you've got the John McLaughlin is nothing like Fripp. Fripp's a very, very different player. Plus you've got David Cross, nothing at all like Jerry Goodman. They're very Euro players, aren't they? Whereas this is American. It's fusion, so it's cool. Dark Songs in Aspic isn't cool.
It's interesting.
But obviously, Bill Bruford and John Wenton, I assume, were completely obsessed with this stuff. Went to see them, and I think while they were touring, they would sneak off and go to Mahavishnu Orchestra concerts. The rest of the band would not. They would do it, which is telling. And that created the Flying Brick Wall, as it was known. So that the rhythm section were trying to do this, and the people on top were trying to be a bit more subtle or do something a bit more avant-garde. So that to me, obviously, that's really interesting. This is where it came from. Oh my god! And you can hear the Bruford Band, which we've done. I'm sure people will probably request that at some point. We've actually done it. The Bruford Band reviews. You can definitely hear the influence in this, that stuff. But you would, because fusion sounds like this. Whether it's even Chick Corea, who was also on Bitches Brew, Return to Forever sounds like this as well. All that stuff sounds like this. It's very specific sounds. It's sort of sickly in a way, because it's kind of stuff like what's it called? Sapphire Bullets of Pure Love, which is like 24 seconds long. Very, very Bruford influenced, I think. And not only is it awesome, that's got to be one of the most ridiculous, supposedly serious song titles I've ever heard. I mean, Sapphire Bullets of Pure Love. I mean, it sounds like Spontan. It's just ridiculous, but it's serious. Billy Cobham is a ninja drummer. I mean, it's like he's got so much energy. In terms of it's not what you play. It's what not you play. You don't play, or it's the gaps in the music. That's the way the music is. There aren't any gaps in the drumming. He's the busiest drummer in the world. They're all famous now, and this was their last studio album. Billy Cobham did a solo album not long after this, I think. That might have been the first thing he did, called Spectrum, was his first solo album, and that's got Tommy Bolin on it. And I think, it's Tommy Bolin's finest moment before he lost the plot. That's really good as well, and that's got more rock guitar, which of course influenced something else, which we'll talk about when we do that at some point. You know what I mean. Jan Hammer, I assume, is the most famous. Have you heard of Jan Hammer? Have you heard the name?
No.
Yeah, but he's obviously he's meow. I think he's, to a certain extent, hugely, maybe actually invented the meow meow thing, I think. I'm sure someone could tell me someone who'd done that before, but certainly popularised it, etc., etc. And he went play with Jeff Beck, which was the thing I wasn't going to mention. I saw Jeff Beck in about 2005, and it was at a university actually. It was a small hall. I mean, you think you're seeing Jeff Beck, and it was like a lecture theatre, not a big lecture theatre, with Jan Hammer. So I was really lucky. I didn't know Jan Hammer was going to be there, and it was very much the fusiony stuff from his career. Interestingly, of course, it was only like a year later someone told me they're going to see Jeff Beck. Oh really? I didn't know he was touring, and he's playing the arena, the local arena. And he's playing with blues people. He's gone back to playing the blues, and that's telling, isn't it? You play the blues, you play the arena. You play jazz, you play the cupboard above the arena, then the skylight. That's where you get to play, and you get 3 jazz nerds coming to stroke their beards. Sadly, and that's the reality of it, isn't it? Let's talk about jazz for a moment. It's hard for us to understand. I was both born in '78.
Yeah.
Yeah. That jazz was like in the charts. We can't even really. I mean, you think that Sharon from over the road is going to listen to Miles Davis? Yeah, apparently everybody did, so it's not surprising that Jeff Beck couldn't sell big venues without playing the blues, and it's a shame. And yet I loathe, what's his name? There's that very conservative jazzo guy, and he was endlessly in that terrible jazz documentary series that was made about 15 years ago. There's this argument of this sort of conservatism. Well, they need to go back to be playing 1930s jazz and nothing else forever. And that thing about that jazz documentary, everyone thought it was funny that it was chronological, obviously, but they got to the 60s and the 50s, and they were saying yes, but yeah, Miles Davis was like changing the world over here, but here's Louis Armstrong doing the same thing still, and maybe that's actually the problem. Is the argument between progressive and conservative that was the real problem, rather than just going too far with free jazz in the 60s and then fusiony stuff in the 70s was just too much for people. You can go in different directions, but going back and just doing boring the same isn't going to get you in the charts, is it? What have we got? Celestial, Terrestrial. These song titles are terrible. Celestial, Terrestrial, Commuters. They're just taking the mick. Much more like Solo McLaughlin. So much more subtle and relaxed and not as intense. I didn't mention the bass player who's also famous, Rick Laird. Didn't he write Thundercats? I think he might have written Thundercats. Maybe he did. Yeah, there's a poem on the back by Sri Chinmoy, Revelation. How that relates to the music? Obviously it did for them. Fair enough. Yeah, so they broke up, and I think allegedly there was a sort of writing credit issue that all the songs were credited to John McLaughlin. Let's do a song, and I'm going to do this. Dun, dun. I've written the song now, right, let's play it. And they all improvise all this amazing stuff. I wrote the song. You can see the problem with this type of music, isn't it? Where if you've got to credit everybody, you've got to credit the drummer. And Bill Bruford got writing credit for not playing on a song. Admirable Restraint was his credit. By not playing on it, he changed the music, didn't he? I've got this one of these obscene box sets, incredibly cheap. It's like £9.99, but that's like $15 or whatever. It's probably like $9.99 now. Of Innomantic Flame, Birds of Fire, Between Nothingness and Eternity. That's the live album we're not going to do. The Lost Trident sessions, which was the final sessions they did as this lineup before they split up, and a bonus track of unreleased live stuff as well. 5 discs. The whole of that lineup stuff, even like the missing stuff. $9.99. That was what I think when these sort of started coming out, maybe not 10 years ago, maybe a bit less than that. But that was the sign. CDs no longer have any value. It went from $14.99 for an album to this. So the whole catalogue for $9.99. I think there's a Pantera one, and there's a Whitesnake one, and there's quite a few of them. It's very strange. The complete albums. So yeah, next week we're not going to do Between Nothingness and Eternity because we don't really normally do live albums. We're going to do Apocalypse, which is different sort of bit.
We had egg this sucker.
We had egged it, yeah. This one is 5 eggs.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the other one is 4. This one is 5.
It'd be 6 eggs if it had some singing on it.
Yeah, get some. What's her name? The singing jazz woman. Shoo boo be doo doo boo. We get some strange comments on the Michael Jackson videos. Still. This guy saying, well, his albums are basically jazz, really. Michael Jackson. Why? Cleo Lane. Yeah, imagine Cleo Lane singing on that. Shooby-dooby-doo. There you go, done. Right, thanks. It was 5 eggs, wasn't it, I think? It was. Yeah, okay. Thanks, see you next week. Hello and welcome to the official launching of Armageddon. We're doing it now. Press launch.
I don't actually know how to do that.
Okay, let's find out how to do it and then we can launch it.
Templates.
We're using, MailMonkey, is it called?
Create campaign. MailChimp.
MailChimp, that's the one.
Entire list.
And the whole list of 26 recipients. Actually, I thought it was 27.
I thought it was 27 as well. Maybe one of those is us.
So yeah, this is an epic moment.
Well, yeah, it's like, well, I don't know how long they've been doing this, 3 months or something like that too. And we've got 26.
Yeah. Oh god, here we go. Right, so campaign name.
Newsletter.
Number
Number
one.
one.
Email subject. Newsletter number one.
Email subject.
Don't read it. Don't read it. It's just silly.
The new Wenton
Thing.
thing.
It should be just a go button, shouldn't it? Go.
Yeah. Resolve. Verify domain. Enter a domain. Okay. We're ready for launch.
Here we go.
High five.
Yeah! High fives. Too slow. Fist bump. Cabbage.
Oh, it's in the thank you. Go out shortly.
So, yeah, so if you're interested in our ridiculous newsletter, it's not music reviews, just to clarify. It's just nonsense. Okay, it's just nonsense. With a prog thing. You have to send an email to...
No, you don't. You have to go to the website.
Go to the website, wenton.co.uk.
So yeah, on the right, under recent posts, there's newsletter. Just stick your email address in there and click sign up.
Yeah, and you'll get some rubbish in your email inbox.
Yeah. It makes us laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably no one else, but we think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
So, it's just you'll have to enjoy it, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes.
We won't feel bad if you unsubscribe.
Yeah, we'll understand.
Yeah. Because it is
Nonsense.
ridiculous.
It is nonsense, yeah.
Yeah.
Great. And we'll see you next week.
For
Not for Armageddon, but for Apocalypse.
it's all going wrong.